A warm welcome to one and all present here. The Department of Commerce, Accounting and Finance, Women's Christian College present to you the international webinar on the topic, the impact of business closures during COVID-19 pandemic. I take immense pleasure to be the MC for the day today. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Abhirami, Chairperson for Non-Resident Shift 2 Student Senate, and I am from the Department of Commerce, Accounting and Finance. Prayer is an opportunity to seek God's blessings. So, to begin with, I'd like to invite Ms. Liu Depam from 3rd BCom Accounting and Finance to invoke God's presence with a word of prayer. Over to you, Depam.
Let us all bow our heads in prayer. Our loving Heavenly Father, we thank you for today and the opportunity you have given us to gather virtually for this webinar. We pray that we may improve ourselves with what we learn here today. As we commence with our program, we ask that your gracious presence be with us throughout it. Bless the speaker, staff, and students. Fill us with your Holy Spirit. All this I pray in the matchless name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Depam. Now, I would like to invite Dr. N. Elizabeth Ma'am, Dean of Shift 2, Head and Associate Professor of the Department of BCom Accounting and Finance, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you.
Good morning to one and all present here. Warm greetings from Women's Christian College, Chennai. On behalf of our principal, Dr.Ethen I. Jasper, and faculty of the Department of Commerce, Accounting and Finance, I welcome you all for the international webinar on the topic, the impact of business closures during COVID-19 pandemic. The impact of COVID-19 pandemic is being felt by all businesses around the world. Leaders are navigating a broad range of interrelated issues that span from keeping their employees and customers safe, shoring up cash and liquidity, reorienting operations, and navigating complicated government support programs. To elaborate on this, I wish to convey my heartfelt gratitude to our resource person, Dr.John Felix, Financial Controller and Acting GM, Al-Arif Group, for accepting the invitation and presiding over the webinar. This event would have been impossible without the support and presence of all the students present here. Now, I invite Dr. P.Metilda to introduce our resource person for the webinar. Thank you.
Very happy to introduce the speaker for today's program, Dr. John Felix Stanislas, Financial Controller in Hospitality Division and Acting General Manager in Al-Arif Group, Dubai, UAE. He has completed his master's degree in MBA, MCom and MPhil in Manonmaniam Sundaranaar University, and as a result of his passion towards learning, he has completed PhD in the year 2014. He has also worked as a professor at Wales College of Management Studies, Chennai, and Al-University College, Dubai. He has published several research papers and articles in reputed magazines and journals, and attended many national and international conferences and delivered lectures as a resource person on various subjects. Other than educational area, he worked with master franchisor of USA brands such as Marble Slab Creamery and Great American Cookies in Dubai, working for hospitality companies such as ABC Arabian Suites, Almanar Hotel Apartment, Almanar Grand Hotel Apartment, real estate companies such as Manar Emirates Real Estate, construction division of Al-Arif Contracting Company, luxurious plot products e-commerce company, Maskell's Garments and Linen Trading, automotive related companies such as Almanar Spare Parts and Labala Auto Care, instrumental to implement ERP software such as Microsoft Dynamics AS and IDS. Also, he worked with PwC internal audit team for analyzing internal control procedures. He participated several events with Dubai Tourism, Commerce and Marketing. Also held various positions like General Manager and Almanar Hotel Apartment, Financial Controller and Assistant Controller at Al-Arif Group, Dubai. Thank you. Now I request Dr. John Felix to take over the session.
Good morning to all. I hope that you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity. I'd like to thank Dr. Elian Jasper, the principal, for organizing this international webinar, and also the Dr. Elizabeth, the Dean and Head of the Department, and Dr.Ethen, the Associate Professor and the convener of this international webinar. And I would like to thank all the students who are participating here and other participants at this Women's Christian College Department of Commerce, Accounting and Finance. And I would like to special thank to my mentor, Dr. Melvin as well, and for his contribution towards my learning and growth. And my special thanks to all the audience today who are here with me for like a couple of minutes. So we will go ahead with our topic, the impact of business closures during COVID-19 pandemic. See, we are here in a special situation where the present generation or even the last generation have not seen these kind of situation. Maybe a year, 100 years back, the similar situation where has happened. But for the last 2-3 generations, this is the new situation where the people are in a different atmosphere. We were freely moving around and we were unable to move around today, and it is affecting especially all the areas. Therefore, we are in a situation to analyze how the pandemic or the closure of business is affecting entirely either as an individual or the business or the society, how it is impacting us and how the future is going to be. So this is what we are going to see, how the present situation and how the closures is affecting the industry as an individual or the businessman, and also how the future workflow is going to be. Let's have the first slide where the emerging risk of COVID-19. See, this is the first 100 years like this kind of pandemic situations are happening, and the overall the present situation has affected 188 million people all over the world, and 4 million people have already passed away. And even today it is present with us. We are in a situation and we are living with the virus which is unknown to all of us. And in India itself, there is around 31 million people have been affected, and around 4 lakh people already passed away, and still the virus exists with us. And to contain from the virus, there are like multiple ways of like away from the virus is available. See, one of the major factors as a society, as a government, and it is available with us is the vaccination. The vaccination is given to all over the world. It is 3.42 billion people, and there are only 940 million people are fully vaccinated, which is 12% of the overall population. If you look at India, so overall the vaccination is taken by 5% of the people. So it is far away to go away from this virus. Therefore, it is very much important to analyze the present situation and how we are ready for in future days, how we are going to work with the normal situation where still with the virus. So there are many challenges, and the challenges for different industries in the different way. The opportunities for the new industries are coming up, especially the e-commerce industry, the IT industry, which are growing in a way where they are unexpected. They are growing in a fast manner, but at the same time, the airline and the different industries, they are very much affected, especially the tourism and travel. They are completely gone. They are now no more exist in the market. That much level of, they are looking for the new way how they can survive today. So their survival is matter. And therefore, as a community, as a government, as a business, as an individual, we are in a situation how we need to cope up this situation and to analyze what is happening today and what might be in the future. So therefore, we are going ahead this plan to understand the lockdown, how it has affected, to understand the present loss and ready for the future. So the government has made to contain the virus, they have disabled all the gatherings. So anyone who is like, they have instructed all the people to be at home, and also they have closed all the borders, and they have closed also all the airlines to carry the passenger between the airports, between the countries. So therefore, complete lockdown, complete business shutdown. So the people are not able to move. Only the essential services were allowed. So therefore, if you look at the industry today, few companies are not available in the market. They are no more into production. They are no more into sales. You are not able to run the business with the kind of liquidity available with you. So the manpower is not available. Therefore, like the demand has reduced because there is no production available. There is no consumer available. So there is no raw material available. It is very much difficult for the situation to run a business. The demand has reduced more than 75%. If you look at the automobile industry, so if you look at the luxurious goods, nobody is ready to spend the money to buy the luxurious goods. They are required to cope up with the current situation where they can see how to survive on today's scenario. So they can also survive in the future. So therefore, see, if you look at the businessman, they have sold the item, but they are unable to receive the money from the customer. Even I can have an example where we have sold in 2020, the beginning, even 2019, October, November, December, even today we are calling them to pay the invoices. So they are able to pay even 5%. See, in India, there are like more of the travel agents who are dealing with, like we are dealing with them. They are telling that completely lockdown, we are unable to get any money from the customer, so we are unable to pay. Therefore, please bear with us, so we will be able to pay in future. So they are looking for the survival, how to manage with their vendors and also to survive. Otherwise, it will be a legal battle between the vendor and the supplier. So therefore, it is very much important to survive today. So if the product cost also increasing, especially the product cost, the raw materials are not available. Because of the social distancing, the productions are not available. So the equipments are not in working condition. So half of the capacity only you can make the labor to come and produce. So therefore, the availability product is very limited. When the availability, the supply is limited, automatically the price will increase. And also when you have limited availability of resources like material, manpower, all these material like limited availability of resources will increase your production cost. When the production cost is increased, automatically the cost of the product is also very high. So therefore, even there is no demand, the product availability at a higher price. So usually when the demand is less, if availability is more, the price should be less. But here what happened, the other scenario, it's in a different way. How the product is available and the consumer available, we are not able to purchase each other, they are not to sell. So therefore, and they are not able to produce. So therefore, the cost of the product is increasing. See, the companies who are not, like especially the small SMEs who are running the business with the small overdraft loan from facility from the banks, and also who are borrowing money from in and around their sources, the finance sources, they are unable to pay the EMIs. So when the EMI is not being paid, they are able to pay double the interest. So therefore, see, the monthly interest payment also increasing. See, the capacity also reduced because of lockdown. The people are unable to travel between the location and to their workplace, and also the social distancing within their premises. They have reduced the capacity of the people to work in the manufacturing facility. The capacity of the production is reduced. So therefore, you can see that it's a clear indication the vaccine is not available on time because the production is not happening in the full capacity, and also it's a new production. So therefore, the companies have to invest, company has to engage to establish a new facility to make the production. So it's a challenging situation for everyone. Even who has the opportunity, they are unable to spend the extra money to increase the production or to establish the additional branches for make the production. And also the 69% of the small SMEs, especially, they are reporting they are unable to survive more than 3 to 6 months above. They are unable to survive because they have no business at all, and they are silently fixed with their fixed cost. If you see the small SMEs, they have the fixed costs available. They have to pay for their workers, they have to pay for their rent, they have to pay for all their fixed expenses. Therefore, they are committed. They have to pay for their EMI to the bank. So they are unable to bring out the liquidity. Therefore, it is very much difficult situation for them. So as I mentioned, that the availability of raw material is much important, much difficult for the situation to the companies to arrive. For example, if the raw material is coming from China, today the shipment is completely limited. If there is a shipment of like 5 to 10 ships are coming, but today only few ship lines are coming. In the earlier stage, one container was costing $800 to bring from China to India or China to Dubai, anywhere in the world. So average of $800. Today the same is costing $3,000 to $6,000. Like every supplier I speak, they say that Felix, the cost is increased. My shipment cost is increased more than the double. So what do you expect me to give the product? See, I was arguing with them, the price should be reduced because you have no demand. You have a lot of material available in your warehouse to sell. So the scenario is around. He's talking to me saying that, see, it is true what you are saying. There is no demand, but there is no availability of supply. So what do you expect from me? There is a shipment cost increasing. My labor is not coming to produce. my industry is not working in full capacity. The government is pushing me to make only 50% of the laborers to come and produce. So what do you expect me to do? So I cannot offer you the price what I give you before, what I can give you at the new price, which is 20% higher than earlier what I sold. So as a consumer, as a customer, I need to spend 20%, 30% of my earlier price extra to buy today an item. So therefore my cost is increasing and the raw material cost is increasing. There is also the productivity loss, where there is a big fixed asset being fixed to produce the item. The facilities are not produced in a full manner. So the productive loss is there because all the machinery cannot run without the full employees in place of work. So therefore there is a productivity loss. Even lack of remote work capability. See, before the pandemic, even the longer year, I have not seen like more than many decades this kind of situation. So the companies are not ready to make a remote work capabilities. Like small companies, even the bigger companies, maybe 20% they have adopted prior to the pandemic, but today they are maybe 60% or 80% they are adopted. But look at the small SMEs or small the business who are doing, they cannot adopt the remote work environment. See, I have a couple of incidents where who are having the remote work environment, there the ransomware came, it affected their server and they are unable to work for certain period. They have to, unable to store their data. They have to bring the old data to live. So therefore the companies are not ready to the remote work capabilities. So they are building up almost more than a year now. The companies are coming to the new scenario, adapting to the new scenario where they can see that the remote work is the only option available. People, see, for example, people who have traveled maybe from metro city to their home place, they are unable to come back to during the lockdown. They have traveled from overseas, let's say UK, US, UAE to their home country. They are unable to come back there to their workplace. They have to adapt to the remote work environment where they can, at least when they are at home, they can offer their service to the company. But look at the scenario, there is no security available because the ransomware is affecting all there are many kind of security threats there, because when you exchange the data from one place to the other place, it has to go to multiple channels. So therefore, anywhere the people are very, very, very much cunning, to leak the data, to leak the information, to leak the secret of the companies, and also to send unwanted virus to the server and destroy your data. So therefore, you might require to offer them the money. The ransomware who send, they will offer you the demand saying that pay $100,000, then I will activate your system, your server to work. Even you pay the money, you won't get in the full way. Even you don't pay, you don't get anything. So therefore, companies are forced to go that way, or companies are spend more money to equip the server to adapt to the remote working capabilities. The insufficient staff to accomplish the critical work. So for example, there is a technician to be available in workplace. He cannot have on time to the workplace. He cannot travel from one place to the other. Therefore, he is also looking at the scenario where he has to adapt to the new situation. He has to travel. And the very technical stuff to be on work, it is also very much important. And at the same time, limited orders and demand for end products. As I mentioned that the consumer side also, there is a limited demand. Because see, if you look the transportation, people are not moving around. So therefore there is a demand. There is no demand for the transport. OLA is available. There are many thousands of people who are depends on driving this OLA cars, and he has to transfer the people, get the money out of it, so they can go for their livelihood. But today the transport is not available. How they will live? And also look at the hotels. The people are not traveling from one place to the other to stay. So the hotels are completely shut down. So similarly, also the workplace also is very much limited to work. Say therefore people are running out of their money to their to consume or anything. So therefore the orders are also limited. The production is less. There is also demand for the product. There is a less demand for the product. So there is a new scenario which is coming out of this lockdown. And also the industry, what we have also seen, the stress on the industry, which is for example, there is a lockdown, let's say 1 month, 2 months, or whatever it is, the impact will be more than 3 months, more than a quarter. This is what 80% of the people feel that as a businessman, the 80% of businessmen, they feel that the lockdown imposed will have an impact 3 to 6 months on their business, and only the few, like 20%, they feel that within 3 months they will come up to the previous scenario. Only couple of, like 3%, they will feel that in the shorter period they can come forward to bring their normal business. So it is also the lockdown very much affecting them. And also, if you see the government, it is supporting the measures to the industry to live. For example, they are giving the moratorium on the loans. Let's say a company has a loan for like every month the installment to pay. The government has given the moratorium period where they are not required to pay 6 to 8, 9 months. But those scenario also no more is there, because that is also affecting liquidity of the banks. When you are not paying back the loans to the banks, the bank has to either shut down or look for the other opportunity. Therefore, the government also very much limited option to support the industry. And also they have opened up the scenario where the loan can be given to the small SMEs without much of collateral, assets. Like especially the loans are being offered to the SMEs or the business against the collateral loan. Because that in the situation where the lockdown is there, the demand is less, sales is less, the productions are not happening on time. Therefore, the bank is very much aware that their production will also be affected and their sales will also affect. Therefore, they are very much into the situation that they are unable to make any liquidity to the bank. Therefore, the government measures has taken the businessman, they feel that, so only the 10-12% of the businessmen, they'll feel that it is also good effective, but that's the same, the rest of 90%, they feel that their hands are very tight to run the business. So the industry is also in a situation where they need to look for beyond their normal working atmosphere. So therefore, the current status of the operation bring down to a situation, there are 5% of the industries or 5% of the offices, they completely closed. For example, one who is running the restaurant, and there is no, like many months there is no business, because the people are not going out for taking their dinner, or they are not people are not making the parties outside their scenario, outside their home. If someone want to make a party or take a food, they are sitting at home and doing it. So the restaurant, they are unable to run it. Like if they are running the restaurant, so it is also very much important for them to meet the fixed expenses. They have to run the restaurant as the break-even point. They have to meet their expenses by their revenue. But today, they cannot meet their expenses by their revenue, because their revenue also is very much limited. Therefore, the restaurants are completely closed. Look at the travel industry. The transportation is like the people are not traveling from one place to the other. They are not making any holiday. Today, they are not going to the other countries to see the challenges. I mean, to see the work, the new visiting place. So therefore, the travel company is completely shut down today. They have no business. They are going, the travel company who are doing the business in the, as a travel office, the office is closed. They are looking for the OTA. I mean, online travel agent. They're changing their scenario to a online travel agent. So look at the airport industry. Like the airline is not running. Only who are having the good businesses, who is transporting the cargo. So that is running. I would say that that is running better than before. But the transportation is completely locked. They have completely shut down. Many airlines are announcing their bankruptcy. Therefore, they have there is more than 5% of people that are completely closed. And there is many area where they have only the limited operation. So if you look at the companies, offices, and there are like a few restaurants, they are running with the half of the capacity, like 70% of the places, they are running with the half of the capacity. So the capacity is limited now. Then the remote working environment is adopted, like the companies who are required the employees to be at office, and they have given the option to working remotely. So they have given the choice of working remote, and 14% is running at full capacity in their workplace, even though they have given work from home, and some of them are adopting in this mixed environment, like half of the days they will come to the office like 2 or 3 days in a week, and the rest of the days they will work at home. And there are few, like 6% of the people feel that their operation is completely active, like especially the hospitals or the allied, like related to the medicine, they are completely operational, because they have to stand up to the scenario where they are required to adapt to the situation and also they have to produce more. The demand is high, and also therefore it is also for them very much important to work live, like the operational with full 100% capacity. Based on this scenario, there are some financial pressure which are happening in the industry. So there is a working capital concern. As I mentioned to you, when like there is a demand is less, your working capital you have like also taken to buy the raw material. It is completely like locked up. See how the company circle is there. When there is a money you have spent, so you have spent for purchasing the raw material, and it has to be converted as the finished product. It has to be sold. So when you sell, the companies are not selling for cash. They will sell as a receivable, like on credit. So it has to be converted within 30 days time. Therefore, it is also very much important for them to like up to the like working capital. The liquidity is less because the production is stopped. The working capital is locked up in the raw material. The raw material is not converted as a finished product, or their working capital is locked up in finished product. The finished product is not sold. So therefore, they are having in liquidity. Even they sold to some of the customers are not paying on time. So the 33% of the people who believe that they are in the financial pressure of the working capital constraint. So because of this situation, the paying salaries to the staff, the 20% feel that the paying salaries to the staff is very much also inability to pay, because there is the liquidity issue is there. The people who are supposed to pay on time, they are not paying. Therefore, they have the liquidity problem. The companies are unable to meet their expense to the loans. So they are not able to pay because of their liquidity issue. The EMI is not paying on time. And some companies, they have look for an expansion. Let's say the e-commerce company, they want to expand the business because the demand is more now. The many people are, even the groceries coming on e-commerce business, correct? Today, so delivery is happening to the people's home. So therefore, they have to expand the business. They have to hire the people. They have to hire the bike, or they have to hire the delivery vehicle. They have to make a warehouse to store the items. So they have to expand the business. So unless they don't have the proper capital in place, proper investments in time from the banks provide the loan, they can take the money, those money they can invest on the expansion or the new facilities which are unable to happen. That is the reason they are also. And there are some other worrisome risks like a recession. The recessions are like if the country is in like more than, let's say 2 quarters, they are in the minus growth, they are in the recession. Like most of the companies today, they are in the recession because more than 1.5 years we are into this kind of situation. The pandemic is on affecting the industry, the people. So therefore, there is a big issue of going for the recession, and many companies going for the bankruptcy. Especially if you see the banks, they are merging each other, to avoid the bankruptcies, because otherwise they don't have the proper payment on time from the customer. They have to see this scenario to happen, and they have to have some fund in place to run the bank. They have to also to stand up to the situation. Therefore, and also as I mentioned earlier, there is a cyber attacks because the remote work environment is happening. The ransomware come and affect, and also there is a data leakage can happen. So there is a failure of industries and sectors, especially the travel industry, the hotels, hospitality industry, and also tourism. It is completely affected. The transport, who are having large number of transport, like maybe who like 50 bus, someone is holding 100 bus, someone is like, it's not like, especially for the school transportation, there is no people are traveling back to the school today. So they have to stop their business. Who are working as a driver, they have to send back to their workplace, their home. So there is a failure of industries. And also it is also disrupting the supply chain. As I mentioned to you, delivery from one place to the other place is also affected because there is no transportation available properly on time. And also many of the airlines are limited to carry the shipment from one place to the other place. The area is locked down. And similarly, China is also not providing the shipping lines. There should be more container come on the shipping lines. It is also limited. It is also affecting the industry to be more affected. Therefore, it is affecting the supply chain. And also the people are also telling the another third wave. So like people like who is interested little bit of opening up and little bit of expanding the business, there also is very much thinking like to travel from one place to the other, to make the investment, to make the expansion, because they are thinking maybe that that way will come, it will also affect their economy and the business. So it's completely especially the emerging market and advanced economics, they're also completely collapsing on their economic. And it is these kind of situation, the weakening the physical position of all the the countries. So you can see that there is a inflation, and is also interest is going down, and the people are having, some of them have more money, some of them do not have money. So it is completely in a situation where they are affected. If you see the business revenue, this is completely affected. Let's say the 78% of the people, 78% of the people who think that their revenue will affect more than 20% during the first quarter, like April to June. And also there is estimation between July and September. So 27 people think that their revenue will go down more than 20%. Similarly, also there is a decline, like in July to a little bit of up, like people are thinking 10 to 20%, the business will go up, the 30% don't feel that among the 100, let's say. So these are the situation where the people are expecting to impact their business during the lockdown. So the manpower direction, another area, the manpower direction. The people, like, because there is a many scenario where the production is less and the manpower requirement is less and the limited capacity available and the social distancing at the workplace, they have to reduce the manpower. Therefore, if you look at only the 36% of the companies, they feel that okay, they can at least retain the existing employees instead of taking going for additional employees. They can manage with their 36% of employees. But if you look at remaining 56, they are unable to cope up with the existing workmanship. Therefore, they are planning to reduce the manpower. And see, to cope up with the situation, companies are planning the different action plans. Okay, and here you can see some of the action plans what the companies are planning, like the financial actions being planned by the business. Let's say the first item is the mergers and acquisition. If you look at a clear example, there is a large number of banks merging each other. If you see, let's say banking, that Indian Bank has merged, and also Union Bank has merged with the other two banks. So similarly, like the banks are merging each other in order to cope up with the current situation. If you look at the production line, like automotive, because the Toyota is engaging with the Maruti to produce the same line of cars in their own facility. Let's say Maruti is providing Maruti Swift, and the same facility the Toyota is producing their one of the model. So they are sharing the production facility. So no need to invest new facility to bring out the new model, because it will cost lot of the amount for them to make the investment. At the same time, if you see that the implementing cost containment initiative, see, people are reducing their new investment, and also they are modifying the financing plans actually, and also deferring the cancelled, like they are deferring or they are cancelling their investment plan. They are going for the like they are postponing their plan for new investment. This is the GDP growth. If you look at the last few quarters, let's say 2020 quarter 3 and 2020 quarter 4, and if you see the quarter 1 of 2021, it is contradictory to minus 24. The GDP has gone down to that extent. And also it is estimated the quarter 2, let's say from April to June, I mean like July to September, this is also expected to be minus, and also similarly in quarter 3. So people are expecting something to happen. So if you see the number of industries are severely affected, as let's say airline, automobile, construction, textile, power industry, oil and gas, and metal and mining, freight and logistics, consumer and retail, and chemical. These are the industries are mainly affected. So you can see that, like automobile, nobody is going for the luxurious goods to buy today, and nobody is traveling. The people are not buying the homes. There are 5,000 homes are available, ready to occupy the homes are available. So these are the growth projection in the coming. I hope that this will also be, the revised, because this has happened in April. So this will be revised. And also these are the region-wise, the growth factors. And I would like to show that how the future will look like. Let's say most of the companies will go for cloud-based or automated. And also you can see that the majority of the companies, like 60, like half of the populations are from China, France, Germany, India, Japan, Spain, and UK. They are giving 62% of their DGP. So I mean GDP, and they will, most of them are planning for the digital transactions. The e-commerce is growing because there is no physical movement of the people, and the media jobs are going. You can see that people are collaborating with Zoom, Micro Teams, Microsoft Teams, and the cloud. So there are many online channels are happening. And if you see, like even we are going for the online transaction or e-commerce, there is a physical proximity is very much required. Let's say medical care, personal care, and on-site, like let's say retail, the classroom training. So these all require the most of the physical presence of the people. See, in the past, the e-commerce industry has grown at this level, For example, the e-commerce activities are grown, let's say, fivefold in UK, China, United States, Germany, India. India also has grown up like let a multiple of tools. Like it's also growing much faster than what is expected the digital economy. So the future work, the trend of work, it will be, like the people are in the digital workspace. People will be like the daily attendance will be collected of the employees in the remote work environment. The companies will go, instead of the permanent employees, I mean, they will go for the temporary employees, and the employer will allow the employee to learn the new skills. They will teach them in order to adapt to the new situations. And also they'll, like an employee will be provided multiple roles there, like by the new skills. So the limitation of the employees will help them to have one employee with the multiple skills. There are different kind of employees are developing, like they are supporting to their social, like employees social dilemma, and they are also providing automated workplace. So these are the future trends will look like. Therefore we have the scenario, the business, and as an individual, as a government, we have to adapt to the new situation, where we will feel that these are the situation we have to adapt. And also we have to be future ready, and people are adapting to the new workstation and the digital. You can see that, like even the movies are also being released in OTT platforms. There was a very much hesitant in earlier stage the movies to release on OTT, but today most of the movies are releasing on OTT. And there is also multiple channel. If you look, recently the Infosys announced their result. Their revenue is 23% more than what they are expected and what they were doing before. So during the pandemic, they are doing better. So the digital like workplaces are, like IT industries are growing in a fast manner. So similarly, e-commerce, like Amazon or those kind of e-commerce companies, they are growing faster. So similarly, the online delivery channels, they are much, there is a demand for the warehouse, there is a demand for the employees. At the same time, few different industries are also affecting. So these are the lockdown, its impact and challenges faced by the companies. So we will go for the now, like from this presentation, if you have any new questions, so you can come forward, you can ask me, so I can be able to give some kind of the practical scenario to you. Please, I would like to receive some questions, so therefore I can address them.
Thank you, sir. Students, please note that the feedback form will be posted in the chat box. Students are requested to fill in the feedback form in order to receive their e-certificates. Now, I'd like to invite Ms. Shrutika from the Department of BCom Accounting and Finance to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very warm good afternoon to everyone present here. I'm Shrutika Maran, an alumna of WCC. I'm here to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the faculty members and the students of the Department of Commerce, Accounting and Finance. First and foremost, I would like to extend my gratitude to our principal, Dr. Lillian I. Jasper, for always encouraging us to organize such successful events. I would like to express my sincere thanks to the head of the Department of Accounting and Finance and the Dean of Shift 2, Dr. N. Elizabeth, for her moral support and motivation. I would also like to thank our speaker, Dr.John Felix, Financial Controller of Al Arif Group, for enlightening us with your knowledge and presence. I hope that all participants would have gained some valuable insights. The statistical data and illustrations elucidated the risks and challenges faced by the world's businesses in the current scenario. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Ethen Muller, Associate Professor of Women's Christian College, and Dr. Jeba Melvin, Associate Professor of Nesamani Memorial College, Kanyakumari, for coordinating this session without any technical glitches. And I'm very thankful to all the faculty members of our department and the organizing team, and also to the participants of other colleges and universities for being such patient listeners. Once again, I thank you all for making this event a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrutika. Now I kindly request all the participants and faculties to turn on their cameras for a group picture.